Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Saturday the 22nd of Feb and we have more information from Harry and Meghan's website Sussex Royal. Last night, after I uploaded a video, typical sod's law, isn't it? They uploaded a humongous amount of information to their sussexroyal.com website. Now, I will go over this with a fine-tooth comb with you, but my general thoughts are, my lord, they seem quite agitated about all this. Quite a lot of touchy subjects, quite a lot of shade being thrown, and it just seems a little bit forced in my honest opinion. The first section of the statement talks about how they had hoped to be able to share all of this information. They specifically say to mitigate any confusion and subsequent misreporting. They are very, very up on the thought that they are being misreported. This was highlighted in their previous website upgrade where they had a dig at the press. It confirmed that all of these changes will take effect from spring 2020 and undergo a 12-month review. It says that the royal family respect and understand the wish of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to live a more independent life as a family by removing the supposed public interest justification for media intrusion into their lives. They really do have it in for the press, don't they? One thing is evidently clear. They will never be out of the public's eyes. They will be never out of the media gaze. You know, if they live in Canada or in North America, they will still be subjected to paparazzi and media interest. They court the media. This is exactly what happens with the celebrity life. You can't have it both ways. You can't want them to drop everything and turn up at an event you are publicising and you want their interest in and then literally say, no, it's not the right time at the moment. People will always look for Harry and Meghan as a soap opera, I'm afraid. And it's human nature, and that is why soap operas are popular worldwide. Everybody loves a bit of gossip, and that is what soap operas are. They are literally just putting out the worst kinds of people and putting them on telly in the form of entertainment. People lap it up. The statement then goes on to say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will become privately funded members of the royal family with permission to earn their own income and ability to pursue their own private charitable interests. Well, we knew this already. That wasn't news, but I think they're just trying to drum that home that they are allowed to earn their own money because over the last couple of weeks, media interest has been up to fever pitch, hasn't it, on whether or not they are getting paid. I think this is just drumming home that they are allowed to do that. The preference of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex was to continue to represent and support Her Majesty the Queen, a bit in more limited capacity while not drawing on the sovereign grant. Well, I'm going to touch on the sovereign grant a little bit later on because this comes in massively in a huge chunk of the statement. But for now, again, we knew that while there is a precedent for other titled members of the royal family to seek employment outside the institution, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex 12-month review period has been put in place. Now that's very interesting to me because that's basically almost sticking their tongue out going, well, they're doing it, why can't we? And the Queen has probably said, let's see how you fare, shall we? You go off and do what you want. But nothing is set in stone until you come back in 12 months' time and see what you've been doing and how you've been acting. Very wise from the Queen, but I do think 12 months is an awfully long time to let these rogue royals play out. It goes on to say, per the agreement, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex understand that they are required to step back from royal duties and not undertake representative duties on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen. Well, again, we knew that. That wasn't particularly news to us. As agreed and set out in January, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will retain their HRH prefix, thereby formally remaining known as His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex and Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will no longer actively use their HRH titles as they will no longer be working members of the family as of spring 2020. As the grandson of Her Majesty and second son of the Prince of Wales, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex remains sixth in line to the throne of the British monarchy, and the order of precedence is unchanged. That then is basically putting their foot down and say, we are here, we are still members of the royal family, we may not want to work, but you know what? We're still going to take that prevalence, aren't we? It's still ours, it's still Harry's birthright, but we can go off and do what the hell we like, so long as we don't break any rules. There are rules that can be bent, though. The next bit is extremely enlightening, and I think that more clarity is actually needed on this because it says it was agreed that the Duke and Duchess will no longer be able to formally carry out official duties for the Queen or represent the Commonwealth, but they will, however, be allowed to maintain their patronages, including those that are classified as royal patronages. Now again, they cannot represent the Queen or the Commonwealth. They themselves are President and Vice President of the Commonwealth Youth. So what the hell happens to those roles? Are they going to hand them in? I think that is a given, really, that the only duties that these two will be undertaking are the patronages that they already have. Now, here lies the bit that I referred to earlier in the video. It is agreed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will continue to require effective security to protect them and their son. This is based on the Duke's public profile by virtue of being born into the royal family, well that's a given, his military service, the Duchess's own independent profile, and the shared threat and risk level documented specifically over the last few years. It then goes on in italics. No further details can be shared as this is classified information for safety reason. There, ladies and gents, is in black and white that they will be getting security paid for by the taxpayer, and that Buckingham Palace or Harry and Meghan will no longer comment on this. The deal is done. However much they cost, and it's been estimated in multiple millions, up to $7 to $10 million per year, we, the taxpayer, will have to foot the bill. Now, I get it. I really do. I've said many times in my videos, do you know what? For the price of just paying for their security, let them go. But there has to be caveats attached, which the Queen has done. I like that. It does grate me a little bit that they will be earning all of this money, yet they can't pay for it themselves, that they still have the Duchy of Cornwall's allowance coming to them, yet they can't pay for half. We are fundamentally going to support their security. However many that they need, they will get. I understand how and why the royal family have done this. There was a big hoo-ha after Diana died, and the blame was squarely put on the royal family with regards to security. Fact is, Diana actually refused the royal protection officers on that particular occasion because she didn't want Charles to know where she was. Had she had the RPOs, Royal Protection Officers, I don't think she would have been in the situation that she did, because they would have protected her a little bit more better, basically. So what's actually happened, I suspect, is that they've used the Diana card, and I can see where they're coming from on this one. They are very relevant in today's society, and they probably do have to watch where they're going. But do they require so much security? And do we have to pay for it outright when they're earning so many millions, supposedly? Now, the bit that I really did have a bit of a giggle about is the bit there that said the Duchess's own independent profile is just as important as the 6th and 7th in line. Narcissist warning, narcissist warning. Then it goes on to say that the Duke of Sussex will retain rank major and honorary ranks of lieutenant commander, blah-de-blah-de-blah. No new appointments will be made to fill these roles before the 12-month review of the new arrangements completed. We knew that, it's old news. While per the agreement, the Duke will not perform any official duties associated with these roles, given his dedication to the military community and 10 years of service, he will, of course, continue his unwavering support to the military. It touches on the issue of them closing their office from Buckingham Palace. It also confirms that they told their staff personally in January once they knew of the decision, and have worked closely with their staff to ensure a smooth transition, each of them. Well, that's bogus, isn't it? Because only a couple of them have been able to be transitioned into other roles. The rest have got sacked. A very interesting other bit, it said over the last month and a half, the Duke and the Duchess have remained actively involved in this process, which has understandably been saddening for the Duke and the Duchess and their loyal staff, given the closeness of their Royal Highnesses and their dedicated team. My God, do these two like to ram their titles down our throats, don't they? And here's another interesting bit. As the Duke and Duchess will no longer be considered full-time working members of the royal family, it was agreed that use of the word royal would need to be reviewed as it pertains to organisations associated with them in this new regard. More details on this below. As shared in early January on this website, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex do not plan to start a foundation, but rather intend to develop a new way to effect change and complement the efforts made by so many excellent foundations globally. That doesn't make sense to me, because they've underlined and made the word foundation very different. They are, I think, effectively saying we could have had this, but we're not allowed anymore. But I actually think they've got something different up their sleeve, because they rabbit on about the not-for-profit organisations, and these aren't what they seem. They're not foundations, they're not charities, they are a whole different ballgame with regards to tax and the amount of money that you have to technically give to charities, which is very minimal. It then says the creation of this non-profit entity will be in addition to their cause-driven work. Entity is a very, very strange word to use, I think. I think they are trying to reinvent themselves and reinvent the wheel, basically. They want to try something completely out the box that doesn't fit into a foundation or a charity or a non-profit organisation. They want world dominance under any guise that it can be. They do not want to fit it into a certain box, so they are going for each and every single box that they can find to try and make it global. That's just my thoughts. And here is a very so subtle shade, but shade nonetheless. While the Duke and Duchess are focused on plans to establish a new non-profit organisation, given the specific UK government rules surrounding use of the word royal, it has been therefore agreed that their non-profit organisation will not utilise the name Sussex Royal, nor any other alliteration of royal. For the above reasons, the trademark applications that have been filed as protective measures and that reflection the same standard trademarking requests as done for the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have been removed. One, that's having a go saying, well, the Cambridge have done exactly the same. And two, this is what they then say. While there is not any jurisdiction by the monarchy or the Cabinet Office, which is our government, over the use of the word royal overseas, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex do not intend to use a Sussex Royal or any alliteration of the word royal in any territory, whether within the UK or otherwise, when the transition occurs in spring. That is a humongous dig, basically saying we know that you don't have, or we think you don't have any legal rights to stop us from using the Sussex royal name, but we're not going to use it. So there you go. But they're literally poking them, saying, we can if you want to though, give us a try. What this effectively is doing is complaining about their treatment in a very lengthy statement about what's happened, and they are hitting back. They are throwing stones in every single direction. So what are your thoughts on the statement that was released on sussexroyal.com? Is it any clearer now? They've detailed all of this, or is it just a load of word salad? It's a lot of that, isn't it? That's what I think. There's a few sly digs in there and a few kind of arrows being shot back at the royal family, but this has Harry and Meghan all over it and nothing from Buckingham Palace. I don't think this was even put by them, because if it was, they'd have been told to take out certain elements, because it's clearly a dig back at the royal family. And it's almost like sticking the tongues out going, no, we'll be all right. So let me know your thoughts on the statement that was released on sussexroyal.com, and I will see you very soon. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.